This is something that Coach Kelly, came up with, win the day. You never can look too far ahead. You can only worry about today. And I think that's some of the things, we did and we believed in, to make us successful. Really can't worry about the game come Monday. You got to worry about practice and just take it one day at a time. And another thing he came up with was fast, hard finishing. We really believed in that and we really bought into it. And I think that's why we're successful. Right here we have the wall of the champions. I can honestly say I was a part of 3 of those, in my time here. I was here, I played 3 years, and I won 10 Pac-12 champions, and I'm proud of that. And this is where we come in, we playing the games, you have the fans right here, walking in here. And usually it's always pitch black, you got the little music blaring, and then you have all the fans right here. You get the chills when you're walking through here. Even now, I still get chills, coming back out here on this field and, just feel like I'm about to get ready to play a game right now. Usually you have the Harley here, he'll go out first on the stadium, then you hear the crowd really loud and Coach Kelly's here, holding everybody back and, everybody's ready to play by now. It's time to go once you get right here. And then this is something we believe in right here. Every time we come through this tunnel, you gotta reach up here. You can hear that, you gotta win the day. Once you're here, everything you did all week, you gotta be ready to play now. Autzen Stadium, probably one of the loudest stadiums, no matter what sport it is, that I've ever been in. You come in here, all the fans here, it's time to play. I remember playing Stanford, they were 4, we were 5, and they're on this sideline, and we're on that sideline, and end of the game, big time game, we're up by 7. We're just trying to run the ball to get the clock down and, get out of here with a W, and it's 3rd and maybe 11, and they give me the ball. I think I'm about right here. I see a seam open up and gone. It's touchdown run and look over at the stands. Everybody's going crazy. I think it was actually the year, I was up for the Heisman. It was an unbelievable feeling, big time game, and I just remember, icing them, with that run. It just stands out to me. Probably one of the best runs I had, just at the end of the game and just trying to win. My man, Coach Radcliffe's office. One of my favorite coaches. He's my track coach, and kept me in shape. And then he was my weight room coach too. So he's a great guy, and tremendous guy, and just a good guy to have in your corner, at all times. And that's what all went down, Kept me all flexible and kept me fit, and I enjoy being in here. When I was here at Oregon, we did a lot of flexibility stuff. I think it went along with the sign. We wanted to be faster than everybody else. We didn't do a lot of heavy lifting, but we maintained and we stayed fit. Everybody on the team, you're gonna see it. Everybody's really fit, and might not be the biggest guys you've seen, but we were more conditioned. We can play longer. Play the whole game, and probably play a game after that. And that's one of the things I pride myself on. If someone says, "Oh man, he looks really fast," well, I might be, but I'm really conditioned. I'm gonna be as fast as I am first carry as it is, 20 carry, and first quarter, versus fourth quarter. And I think a lot of that comes from, Coach Radcliffe. He did a great job getting everybody ready for that and staying in shape. It's me right here, squat rack. It's where it all went down for me. I'm already a short guy, so I believe having a strong base, was credited for my success. And stay strong. I think it kept me healthy for the most part, and I enjoy this lift. Oh, it was intense. It was competitive. Everybody wanted to be the strongest guy. My last year here, I was the 2nd strongest on the team, pound for pound. And I think my whole lift came from this. So I enjoy it. I think I squatted like 535. And a lot of that came from Coach Rad, and my teammates, pushing me, to be the best that I can be. And even when I was over here lifting and trying to max out, they were always around me, clapping me up and wanted me to get it. As everybody know, one of my closest friends was Kenyon. Kenyon would not go over there. Kenyon was always here, looking in the mirror, getting the curls for the girls. He really believed in that, and I think if you see him now, he looks all jacked up top, but down low, he got to get on the squat rack. So we make this, we got to send it to him. I gave him a shout out. This is for Kenyon, and the curls right here, this is for you. Now we're in the training room. So before games, I was always in here. I feel like my legs are always tight, so I used to come in here and get some hot stuff on my legs so I can stay loose. Sometimes at work, it gets kind of cold and I always wanted to stay warm, no matter what it was. And just laying here, really I was laying here because I wanted to watch some games and relax, to be honest. But that's over now, so I can say that. And you always have some games on in here, watching some games before you play. And since we're on the West Coast, back on the East Coast, games are going on at 9, 10 o'clock in our morning. It's 12 over there, so always here watching games. This is the worst thing that I didn't like to do. Cold tub. Hated it. I did not like to get in cold water, but it helps you. It helps you recover, and it keeps you fresh. And after you do it, you feel really good. But mentally, I did not like doing that because it is super cold. You can feel it. Over here, you have underwater treadmills. So if you can't go outside and run, or if you're injured, you can come in here and run. This is my locker. And then when I was a little freshman, I was up there. I had to walk down the stairs. And yeah, this is where everybody was hanging out, did a lot of wrestling right here, before meetings. So right here, you got TVs, and before games, I'll be hanging out. Everybody be all tensed up, and I'll be right here, just chilling, relax, messing with Kenya, I think me and Kenya are probably the most childish people before a game ever. Once we're in that field, we're serious. But, before we go out there, we was always just relaxed. We was always chill, didn't really think about it. And I think a big credit goes to the way we practice. We practice hard throughout the week, so we were confident. We were confident we were going to go out there and compete hard, and you don't got to be all uptight. That's one of the things I believe in, just stay loose, and it's a game. Go out there and have fun. And, we were ready. We just were chilling out in here. Right now, we're upstairs and checking out some of the trophies. You have softball, you have track and field, and you got basketball, and then if you come down here, you have football. It's 1958, Tournament of the Roses. Then you come up here, then you have the Fiesta Bowl in 2002. Anytime you can come to a program and go to a BCS game. I didn't even really understand the whole BCS thing until I got here. I knew if you make it to a BCS game, that means you're good. So once I got here, went to the Rose Bowl my freshman year, and I realized, that it is positive. You want to try to get back there. You want to be the best and play against the best. Rose Bowl trophy is always going to stay the same. It's just it's a tradition thing. Yeah, it doesn't look like the Fiesta Bowl trophy. It just looks like that, and it's nice. I really enjoy just a simple, basic trophy. Rose Bowl has more tradition than any other game, BCS game out there, period. It's just a lot of tradition in that game, and I'm happy, to be a part of that win.